Before we jump into today's video, I wanted to share a quick word from our sponsor, Dossier. Dossier is a scent company. They reproduce high-end luxury scents for a fraction of the price. All their scents are either $29 or $49, and they recently launched a line of candles as well. They have a completely risk-free system, so when you get a perfume, you can try it out and you can return any unsealed bottle of perfume within 30 days. They're always adding new scents and they smell absolutely amazing. I got citrus green apple. I also got another scent that is called woody basil. This one's a bit more of a masculine scent. This scent gives me major fall vibes, so I think this is going to be my go-to scent for this season. The packaging is absolutely beautiful. It's extremely high quality. You can hear the magnetic clasp in the lid. So yeah, definitely go to dossier.co, check out their scents, their candles. Dossier is able to provide a discount code for y'all, so if you use my code in the description box below, you can get a discount on your first purchase. I'm really excited to use these scents. I'm actually in Vancouver right now. I'm here in Vancouver with my boyfriend and his parents, so I'm really looking forward to smelling good for this trip. Literally does not affect the functionality. It's Tuesday, and some things that I'm looking forward to today are I have a workout class booked for after work today at 6:30 p.m. and I'm bringing Julian with me because Julian is visiting here for the week. So I'm very excited to show him my workout world. It's like a circuit training, weightlifting class. So I'm very excited for that. I'm also getting a COVID test today because we are going to Vancouver for a little trip to see his parents on Thursday. So I need to get a test within 72 hours. So I'm gonna go in and do that today. I will probably leave in about 30 minutes. I definitely need to be very productive today because I will be taking Thursday, Friday, Monday off, so I need to make sure everything is covered throughout that time because I do not want to have to hop online. Yeah, I got my bullet journal right here. I'm gonna record what my top priorities are today, my to-do list, and let's just knock some things off. I also try to style my bangs more down the middle today, and I feel like it looks really messy, and I keep just subconsciously parting it to the side because I don't like hair in my face. Hi, this is Sarah from manufacturing. The trash can is so full that there's no room for last night's takeout boxes, but I still don't want to take out the trash yet. I'm gonna do it at lunchtime. I'm gonna do all these chores that I have piled up at lunchtime. We we just had our all hands presentation. It was like an hour and a half long, and there was a segment featuring one of the projects that I'm working on. I've been working with the video team to create a video about this project for the past couple of months, and it's just so exciting to see it come to fruition. They did a really good job. The video looks so professional. I definitely could have probably looked a bit more excited when I was talking and looked a little dead inside. But otherwise, I think it went pretty well. I got lots of messages from my coworkers congratulating me on making it into the all hands, so it was very nice of them to take the time to send me a message. But yeah, that's all. We have a lot of things to do today. We leave for Vancouver tomorrow, and then I drop Otis off with my friends who's dog sitting. I need to do laundry, take out trash, clean the apartment, go get Otis some food from the pet store. So we're gonna try to start laundry, take out trash, do some of those chores during lunchtime.
I wake up early in the morning, and when I come home at night,
hello friends,
everything is covered in darkness, and the sun is out of sight. I guess I'm living in the dark, because I sure can't see no light. Ever since you left, there's been nothing but a cloudy sky, and there's no day, there's only night.
Otis, can we have a word with you?
The flame was put to rest. Now everything is covered in gloom, and my heart is put to the test. I guess I'm living in the dark age, cause I sure can't see no light. Ever since you left, there's been nothing but a cloudy sky, and there's no day, there's only night.
So I'm gonna do a little mini vlog Q&A session. I try to do this once a month. I might have dropped the ball last month, but I'm picking it back up again. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. I think it's a good way to connect with you all. I'm not gonna say the usernames because I don't know if people want to be private or anonymous or not. So I'm just gonna say the questions. The first question is, how did you adjust/make friends when you first moved to Seattle? This is a great question. I think this is a topic that is of interest for a lot of people who are either in their 20s, just graduated college, or have just moved to a new place. So for a little bit of context, I graduated college in Michigan, and then I moved to Seattle, Washington after college for work, and I didn't know anyone in Seattle beforehand. I knew a few people like from my past, like I knew they were in Seattle, but we weren't on like talking terms. Like we never were super close or anything like that. The biggest tips to making friends in a new city is to, one, show up any place consistently. So that might be work, that might be the dog park, that might be a workout class, and notice who else is there consistently as well and start conversations there, because I think friendships grow when you spend a lot of time together. And it's always been really easy to make friends because we went to school every day, we went to classes every day, and that set the foundation for those friendships to grow. So places that I show up consistently are, one, work, two, the dog park. I go there every day with Otis after work, and I've been able to meet two great friends there, and now we have a little group chat called the Single Dog Mom Squad. Three is workout classes. I have a workout class that I go to consistently, and the instructor knows my name, the instructor knows other people's name in that class, and I'm starting to, trace little snippets of conversation with these people that I see go consistently as well, so I'm hoping friendships will bloom from that. Jumping in here to add that I think something that also really helped me is understanding what my social capacity is, especially as someone that lives alone. I know in the beginning when I just moved here, I was overexpending my social energy for sure, but I also had a lot of it. So over time, I just observed how I felt after each social event that I did, and I found that right now in my current phase of life, the ideal is 1 to 2 things during the week, ideally something Tuesday or Wednesday, and then maybe something Friday. And also 1 to 2 things on the weekend. So maybe something on Saturday and then maybe something on Sunday as well. Now that I know like which days I want to do social things and also which days work best for my calendar, I can plan a week ahead of time and line up social activities so that I feel less lonely and that I am making progress towards building those friendships in a new city. Number 2 is, if you don't have those consistent places that you go to set up a reoccurring meeting or club. So like one of my friends, I met her through a mutual friend, and I don't run into her casually. Like, I don't run into her at work. I don't run into her at the dog park. So the only way we meet is when we plan for it. So what we did is we set up a supper club. So once a week we go and try a new restaurant. And we do this with 2 other people as well. So 1, it's really fun because we get to explore the restaurants of Seattle, but 2, it's a great place for us to nurture our friendship every week and stay in touch. There are tons of different types of clubs that you can start. There are book clubs. You can set up a club where you go to the farmer's market every week with the same group of people. You can set up a running club, a movie night club, a painting club, or you can even just start on a project with someone that you meet, and then because you're working on the same project, you have to meet on a weekly basis. Next question is, how are you liking your job? Have you ever considered switching roles or companies? I really struggled to like my job my first year. I'm gonna be fully transparent. I think the transition from college to the working world was just really tough on me in terms of I felt really lost. I felt like I wasn't contributing enough, so imposter syndrome played a role. I also felt like I didn't have an impact, that I was scared of becoming mediocre, just like an average person who works a 9-to-5 job. And this is a whole topic I can talk about in another video, so let me know if that's something you're interested in. I have been liking my job a lot more. It's been a little over 2 years now, and I feel like I've really started to contribute around like the 2-year mark is when I realized I had made some significant contributions. And I think that was a key part to me liking the job. I learned that even for people who are experienced in the industry, it takes at least a year to get good at any job. And especially if it's your first job out of college, it's gonna take even longer. So for me, it was around the 2-year mark that I realized I felt like I had actually made an impact. In short, yes, I am really liking my job. There are tough days and there are good days, but overall, I genuinely feel grateful to have the job that I do. But with full transparency, I did not feel that for a very long time. The second part of that question is, have you ever considered switching roles or companies? Yes, especially during that first year where I was really struggling to enjoy my job. But ever since then, I am starting to plan like my future career. I'm not thinking of switching roles or companies anytime super soon, but it is something that plays on in the back of my mind just in terms of my career development. I'm still very early in my career. I think I want to do a little bit more experimentation. My boyfriend also lives in San Francisco, California, so we're trying to figure out how to end up in the same place. So that might require like a job switch or something like that. So yes, it plays in the back of my mind, but nothing in concrete is in planning. Another question is, how's life right now? Are you happy? Similarly, another question asks, how are you doing? These questions are so great. They're so nice. I'm doing pretty well, I would say. I definitely have ups and downs, specifically in the evenings. That is when I am most vulnerable to entering an entire existential life crisis. Sometimes I'll just spiral in the evenings, especially now that it's getting darker sooner. But I've started observing myself, and now I kind of realize when it's about to happen, and it's when I usually spend most of the day alone, which I do quite often because I live alone. And then on top of that, if after work I just sit on this couch and scroll on social media mindlessly for a very long time, that's when I'll notice myself start to spiral. I figured out how to avoid it. When I feel myself start to spiral, I just start doing chores. I just start doing a bunch of things around the apartment, cleaning the dishes, cleaning the apartment, scrubbing things down, vacuuming, and just doing these little tasks picks me right back up. Jumping in to add that I feel like so much of our life is surrounded around energy, or the reason why just doing chores has helped me prevent from spiraling in the evenings is because I'm just redirecting my energy. It's kind of like how I take care of Otis. Like, I need to make sure that he gets his energy out before I leave him alone too long. If he has the proper outlets to expend his energy, then he's a lot calmer, a lot less anxious when I leave him home alone, a lot less destructive. So in that similar way, I need to make sure that I channel my energy into the right places. Another question is, any tips for surviving gloomy season? Yes. Good question, especially for my Seattle people out there, but anywhere with winter, with shorter daylight hours, my biggest tip is just to invest in good lighting in your apartment. When it's nighttime and you have to turn on the lights in your house, really deck it out. Like, get LED lights, get a color changing light bulb. I absolutely love my projector I have at night. Sometimes at night when it gets dark, I project a scenery of maybe a rainy window or a beach at sunset, and it is the biggest mood booster. Get twinkle lights. Get fairy lights, get cute lamps. The lighting in your apartment, get candles. The lighting in your apartment will change your mood, and it can turn the darkness into an enjoyable setting. Another tip for gloomy season is I think that a lot of the anxiousness, a lot of the stress that comes from gloomy season is just expecting yourself to operate as if it's summer, but it's not summer, it's winter, and your body is going to move a lot slower. So setting your expectations to meet what your body is feeling. I also wanted to add a book recommendation. I highly recommend the book The Four Seasons. This has really helped me adjust my mindset to the different seasons, and especially for the winter season, which is where I need help in. Another question asks, since you were talking about wanting a change, what would be the next ideal career move? This is a good question, and I don't really have it well defined. I don't know what the answer is, honestly, but I'm thinking along the lines of continuing my manufacturing role, my manufacturing path, going further upstream to hardware design. Product management is something I've been exploring a little bit more. I was exploring UX and UI a little while back, and then I've done like a free course on LinkedIn Learning, and it was really helpful, but I don't think I'm gonna be pivoting my career towards a UX UI direction anytime soon. It's hard to know what you want to do, especially early in your career. So my advice to that is just to grab onto whatever piques your interest and learn more about it. So for example, for me, the first year of my career, I was really interested in UX UI design. And I was thinking whether I wanted to pivot my career that way. The good thing is there's a ton of free resources out there. So I took a free course on Coursera. There are free courses on LinkedIn Learning. YouTube has a ton of free courses. So I spent a while learning about UX UI design. Eventually decided that I don't want to make a career pivot to UX UI design, but I learned a lot of skills that are applicable to my role today, so I was still able to grow my skill set. Right now, I'm learning more about product management, so again, seeking out those free resources. Something that helps me a lot is creating a semester learning plan at the beginning of every semester. In a couple of sittings, just compiling all the topics I'm interested in and finding those free resources and putting it on a calendar. Another question asks, how was it like living in different places? Did it make you appreciate Seattle more? Between the months of like March and August, I was jumping around the country. We just didn't have a lease, so I lived in San Francisco for a little while. I was in Oregon for a short period of time, Michigan, New York City. I don't know if it necessarily made me appreciate Seattle more, because that would be comparing the cities, and I think I like all the cities I went to. But it did make me appreciate having a home and a main home base a lot more. Like I always thought I would really enjoy the nomad life. Like I would love to be a digital nomad, just live out of a suitcase and hop all over the place. But I was craving having just a home base and an apartment so much towards the end of this traveling period. And it's always something I kind of feared. I don't know if feared is the right word, but I thought that like if I was a digital nomad, then I wouldn't be an average person, if that makes sense. Like I had this fear of becoming average, of becoming a mediocre person who just works a 9-to-5 job and lives in an apartment and does the same thing every day. That's a big fear I had. But I realized that stability is not something to be scared of. It is a huge privilege to have. And growth can happen in stability. You don't have to be constantly struggling, constantly uncomfortable to be growing and to be exceptional. This traveling has helped me realize that I don't have to be seeing new sights all the time to be living an exceptional life or to be growing as a person. Another question is, how do you find motivation to work on the weekend? Honestly, sometimes I don't have motivation and I just try to turn my mind off and do the work that I need to do. I've realized that if I'm too idle and not doing much on the weekend anyways, then I start to get really anxious and I start to spiral. So that really gives me a kick in the butt to just get work done, to be doing something. But I think also setting up your environment to make it an enjoyable place to work is really beneficial. Like some weekends I really enjoy just being alone by myself in my apartment, comfortable with a nice cup of tea and maybe a sweet pastry or something, working on my laptop, working on a creative project, setting up my spread so that it's a really aesthetic study spread. So I think it's finding ways to make that work, make that study enjoyable. And working in a community is also always better in my opinion than working alone. So if you have people to work with, either on the project or just next to you, I think that's great because then you can feed off of their focus energy as well. Those are all the questions we have today. My voice is always so dry by the end of answering these questions. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. Hopefully I made sense. Let me know what your take is on some of these questions. And if you have any more, feel free to leave them down below.